Now, regardless of whether we're men or women dancing, there's some basic fundamentals you'll want to concentrate on. Now, for a good hand exercise, it's good to just get used to holding your arms in position, because you're never going to do your hands like this unless you were doing something stylistic where you let go of those basic arm positionings and postures just for a moment. But you definitely don't want to dance without form, without posture. So it's a good idea to practice with posture right off the bat. So this is like a variation on the first position, if you recall from the arm positioning videos. Now we're going to start with our hands facing out away from us. What I want you to do is just grab the hands into fists and roll the wrists like so, together in unison. So the way I think of this is the hands moving away from me, because they're moving away from the center line there. That's how I look at that, even though they come back together. And then reverse it, come in toward yourself, like you're beckoning or saying, come here. And roll the wrists. Now it's really important that you get really nice and loose in the wrists, because a lot of the movement comes from being mobile. Even if you don't have a whole lot, you still want to have this ease of movement. Otherwise, if you try to put too much tension in the arms or anywhere else, and in the hands, it's going to start looking jerky and unnatural. So you want to be able to roll the wrists. Now, you do work the hands. When I say work, I mean you slow it down, you really articulate. You open and close the fingers, curl and uncurl the fingers as you go. So let's just go back to that basic posture. Roll the wrists a few times, nice and easy, maintaining your good first position here. And then back in, like so. Now that you can do that, hands facing away from you, just roll the whole hand without curling it in yet, without a fist. Just see if you can roll the wrists and move the hands in and out. Now, if this is confusing you, think about pushing away from you and then opening up and then bringing it in toward yourself, or like saying, come here, in toward yourself, back into this position. So I go away, then in toward myself. Away, in toward myself. And then give yourself a little second. Your arms, shoulders are probably going to get tired from holding positions. Now once we're there, let's go ahead now and start to use the hands a little more articulate. So we're going to push from the palm like so, like you're tracing the inside of a bowl. So pushing to the palms, number one, and then as I roll the wrists, I bring all my fingers into a fist, making sure to get these thumbs curled in. Don't want them sticking up here. And then as I open up, uncurl the fingers. So let's see that again. On here, I push through the palm as I roll the wrists, bring the fingers in, then uncurl the fingers at the end. And then the reverse is true. I do the same articulation. I push in, then fingers come in as I roll the wrist, then uncurl the fingers. Done smoothly, it looks like that or that. Okay? That's just a good basic exercise to do. And you'll find that most of the work actually happens up here, just trying to keep your position there. This isn't too hard after you get used to it. Now, again, when you're doing something like this, make sure the thumbs don't stick out. I can have my thumbs relaxed here as I bring them up. Try to keep them close to the palm as opposed to up here. That way you're not drawing attention to your thumbs, but people are keeping attention on the hands. Plus it looks kind of funny if you dance like this. So once you get that going, let's see now what are some other options. Now this is a more masculine way of doing your hands. Not to say that women don't use it, but the full hand circle or the grab is more masculine aesthetic. Let's look at some other things that are good for men and women. So you can do what's called fanning the fingers, which means you start with the pinky and then each finger follows. And then same as I come back up. So I'm going pinky down and then pinky up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm curling these up, unwrapping them. which looks like this when you do it. So I'm still pushing away, but I'm starting with the pinky. I'm letting my fingers stretch open, and then I can just open them all together, or I can fan away, and then one by one bring them back up. I prefer, just for the sake of the exercise, fan the fingers and then open them together, and then fan them in toward yourself, back into position. Okay? Men and women use that all the time, this idea. Now, another way you can do, not quite as easy, is you fan starting with the index finger, like so, and then you uncurl. Index finger, and up. Index finger, and up. So, what that means here is I start here pushing away with the index finger, spread the fingers, bring them all together, open them together. Now inside's harder, so you're going to bring it in, but you're still rolling the wrist in the same way. So don't get caught there, because you're not trying to do this, you're trying to bring in the index finger and yet still roll the hands this way. So you start away from yourself, fanning, and then in toward yourself as you roll the wrists and open. Okay? Another one that's very good for men and women. Notice we look at one that's maybe a little bit more feminine. So a common thing they do sometimes is to put the middle finger to the thumb like so. And you start in the same position, hands facing away, putting that middle finger to the thumb, and you simply just roll the wrists. So there's no real, once you do this, you're not really articulating the hand, you're just holding a position. But it still looks nice because it's well positioned and it creates these nice little illusions as you move. So all you're doing is taking the position, roll the wrist, maintaining the hands is exactly the way you started them, and they end exactly the way you started them, only now they're open. And then you bring it back in toward yourself, roll the wrist,